Hello, I'm Joel Blackford with Beth Hesed Sabbath Fellowship. We are closed. Our building is locked up. It's been for 2 years. Call for 612-315-6778. We will continue virtually until things change, and there seems to be a change in the air. We'll see. We do the philosophy of eschatology, what you need to know, your reality, our existence, what's going on in the world, because we seem to be under judgment. And if you hear the lightning in the background, I'm not sure that it'll come through with this excellent microphone, but it is lightning outside right now as I'm discussing judgment. We try not to be disparate. We are Beth Hesed Sabbath Fellowship. The Deuteronomy 28 curses. There's been some news about it lately. It's a prophecy. And so there's madness involved in it. There are many aspects to it, but I wanted to point out madness just so you could see that across the world right now. I believe we're under judgment because there is madness and other signs right now. So we'll try to prove that case today and show you Deuteronomy 28. So witness number one, Mount Ebal. So many thousands of years ago, Moses handed the reins over to Joshua. Joshua went up to Mount Ebal and Mount Gerizim. And so the bald mountain Ebal is the one that had the curses, and Gerizim had the blessings, and they would say things back and forth as a group to each other. Well, they found an amulet, a lead one that was folded over, and it had those curses on it. And so, cursed, 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 cursed by God, Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh, you shall die cursed, or will die cursed. Cursed, you will surely die, cursed by Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh, cursed, cursed, cursed. Now, this stuff was found in 1982. I've met Scott Stripling before. He's a fine eschatologist, nice guy. Because he isn't a Messianic or a Jew, there are certain things he doesn't see, but he works hard. And he's smart. So anyway, he found this, and then they finally found this particular piece just a few years ago, and so it's being published right now. It's interesting. So this is from March 25th, 2022. Yeah, that amulet was discovered, and it's interesting to say cursed, cursed, cursed. So from Deuteronomy 28, of course. Then another stone of curse is found from the time of King David. So two different eras echoing each other. A stone slab was discovered by Eli Shukran, who conducted the excavation near Gihon, which is interesting. It's biblical. Gihon is very biblical, both in Genesis and Revelation. And so, cursed, 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 you will surely die. Cursed, cursed, you will surely die. Governor of the city, you will surely die. Cursed, you will surely die. Cursed, you will surely die. Cursed, you will surely die. This comes from God. So keep that in mind when you want to go out and curse things. It's better to say blessings. There are reasons why my Orthodox Jewish friends say blessings all the time, because it's so easy to curse. So witness number two is King David's stone of curses. Interesting. So what do? We're doing the Deuteronomy 28 curses today. I'm saying that we are under the curses. There is proof of it. And we're trying to prove that that's the philosophy of the end of days, that you want to be a part of the blessings. So, does God have the right to judge Gentiles? He does have the right to judge Jews. There's no doubt about it. He's done it many times over. But when you look at Sodom and Gomorrah, when you look at Nineveh, now the Jonah story was predated by the destruction 120 years later, but Mosul, modern day Mosul, is Nineveh, okay? And so what about grace? What about it? That is grace. God said to Abraham, well, if you can find, Abraham said to God, what if we could find 50 or 45 or 40 or 30? He got down to about 10. And there weren't 10 righteous people in Sodom and Gomorrah, so he destroyed it. So, and we seem to have found the site of Sodom and Gomorrah. And so basically Nineveh was judged. They repented the first time, but judgment was deferred. So God has the right. And when you really search through the Bible, there are more examples, but God does have the right to judge the Gentiles. In the same way as the Jews, because if you're in covenant with the Bible, you should be judged if you don't keep that covenant. And there are many different covenants. So I'm arguing also that zombies are in the Bible too. So there is this section of Deuteronomy 28 where the moms eat their babies, and I think it's Leviticus 26 too. That's zombies, okay? When you're eating your babies and you're determining who's going to eat which baby first, and that's in the Bible, that's zombies, okay? So why will you be struck down? Why will you continue to rebel? The whole head is sick, the whole heart is faint, Isaiah 1:5, okay? So, and there's also pharmakia, so drugs of some sort that can cause zombie land. So yes, But is it on a timeline in the Bible? No, we don't know exactly when the zombie things occur. But I'm going to show you a term, meshugana, from the Bible today, and you get to determine when you think the timeline is. I think it's right now, and I think it's a form of the judgment of God. So we'll see. Where are we in the timelines? I'm saying that we're in the third seal because the signs are there everywhere. I'm saying that we're getting close to the fourth seal. And that I've discovered as of the last video that the first one, the broadsword, this rhomphaeus sword, this long sword that would be worn or used by a horseman and it would drive down into the chest, that would be invasions. So look around the world right now for invasions and tell me that I'm wrong. Yeah, I dare you. Famine, crop failures. Oh, we're seeing those. Trust me. And some of it's man-made because mankind is so stupid right now with their green agenda. Death is plagues, okay? And then the fourth plague is animals, biological warfare. You're seeing some biological warfare right now, in addition to other plagues. So keep that in mind. That's the fourth seal, which is 4 plagues, and we're seeing those right now. We're just not seeing the death numbers that you would see, which would be close to 2 billion deaths. Okay, where are we in the time frame? We're in the birth pangs. We're in the third seal, and it seems to be getting more full. That doesn't mean that the first seal goes away or the second seal goes away. They keep on magnifying. The third seal is magnifying. The fourth seal seems to be starting, but I'm not going to be the person calling that. You can look around you and see if it is occurring based on my comments. The fifth seal would be martyrdom. Sixth seal would be a large earthquake, largest ever in the history of the world, plus asteroids falling, small ones, fig-like. But that'll happen. Then we would go into the tribulation. Then we would go into the Great Tribulation after 3.5 years. So the timeline, madness, curses, we're in that right now. I'm arguing that's the judgment of God. So we are under judgment. Prove me wrong. He is allowing the world to go on, but only for a time. Yeah. It seems like we can see the end now. And so Yeshua has given many warnings to the world, but there is little time left. Few listened and got ready. So are we under judgment? Yes. Yes, and the signs are there. Where we are in it, I don't know exactly, but we're moving along. Like, I couldn't tell you when Yeshua would return, but I can tell you that we're moving along. Okay, so let's go into Deuteronomy 28 and look for the curses. And there are some blessings for it before this. Keep that in mind. Some wonderful blessings. But, and then everything transitions with the but, if you refuse to pay attention to what Adonai your God says and do not observe and obey his mitzvot, those are the good things that you can do, although there are negative mitzvot too, and regulations, that would probably be hukot or huk, which I am giving you today, and we wouldn't understand those. Then all the following curses will be yours in abundance. A curse on the fruit of your body, the fruit of your land. That's peri in the Hebrew, fruit of your body, fruit of your land, both peri, and that would be your seed, your abundance, and he will take that away from you. We are depopulating, people. Okay, we are massively depopulating, and our land is depopulating in its own way too. And the young of your cattle and flocks, he's going to depopulate that too. The curse on you, a curse on you when you come in, a curse on you when you go out. Adonai will send on you curses, disasters, frustration. Now that frustration word there is mahuma, and that's tumult, confusion, discomfiture due to war. Okay, so that means when you notice the invasions, so I'm linking that to that word invasions from seal 4. So I'm saying that's part of this judgment, that you're going to notice invasions, and that is really a part of war, and then the sword comes, and so it's all biblical. Okay, do you see it now? In everything you set out to do until you are destroyed and quickly perish because of your evil actions in abandoning me. That's Deuteronomy 28:15 plus 19 through 20. Continuing on, let's see the signs of that. A curse on the fruit of your body and the fruit of the land. Curses on both. And so zerah, the biblical term for seed, is the same word for a man's seed, a woman's seed, or the seed of plants. Okay? Buy your flour now while you still can. Western Kansas wheat crops are failing just as the world needs them most, and that's June 21st, 2022. And then we're noticing fertility tanking by 15.4%. That's one of the judgments, people, okay? So the curses are occurring right now. Global depopulation is their stated goal. So what's behind the worldwide drop in birth rates? 9 months after you know what the jabs are. Rollouts to younger people. Germany's dropping substantially in their birth rates, okay? And then Hong Kong is dropping very horribly in their birth rates, okay? This was not cited by me in the verses specifically, but it's there in Deuteronomy 28. Your sky will be like iron, your soil will be like bronze, and as of June 16th, we have droughts like you wouldn't believe. Lake Mead drought is horrific right now. It's interesting that Sin City is getting the curses, okay? And there's a boat on Lake Mead that has been vertical for probably 30, 40, 50 years, and now it's popping up, and that's a barometer of how fast the lake is dropping. And also 2022, according to this source, Al Tompkins, 2022 is a wildfire year, not a wildfire season. Keep that in mind. Deuteronomy 28, curses from God. Adonai will strike you down with boils that broke out on the Egyptians, tumors, skin lesions, itching. It's all incurable. Adonai will strike you with insanity. That's shagah. We're going to go through that more later on, but I just want you to note it. There's shagah, which is insanity, blindness, and utter confusion. That's timahon. That's bewilderment. And you will grope around about at noon like a blind person groping in the dark, unable to find your way. That's zombie-like, people. It is, okay? It's madness, it's insanity, and it's bewilderment, and that's Deuteronomy 28, 27 through 29. That's where the zombie words come in, okay? And we're going to see more madness coming up here, but it's also confusion, utter confusion, okay? So what do we see right now with madness, tumors, boils, and utter confusion? We see mass formation psychosis. Dr. Matthias Desmet is preaching that everywhere. Then below him is Dr. Ryan Cole, who is saying stage 4 cancers are taking off like wildfire. We're going to see consistent 2 to 3-fold increase, okay? Monkeypox, we're seeing that now. We've had it for years, but we're seeing more of it right now, and so that would be more like boils. And then you're seeing Biden saying we're going to have another pandemic. Well, that's utter confusion. And Fauci believes Paxlovid, I don't know how to say that, but anyway, it kept him out of the hospital even though he tested positive again. So anyway, the point is confusion, governmental confusion right now, executive level confusion worldwide. Continuing on with curses, you will be continually oppressed and robbed, and there will be no one to save you. You will be engaged to a woman, but another man will marry her. You will build a house, but not live in it. You will plant a vineyard, but not use its fruit. Your ox will be slaughtered before your eyes, but you will not eat any of its meat. Your donkey will be taken away from you by force. As you watch, your donkey is basically your Mercedes. Your donkey would be a sign that you've done well, and that's your vehicle. And you won't get it back. Your sheep will be given to your enemies, and there will be no one to help you. That's Deuteronomy 28, 29 through 31. So what do we see? 10,000 dead cows killed here. We're seeing animals being culled in Germany, Holland, other places like that. You're seeing the government say, we need a great agenda, so we need to kill all your animals, so all the pigs. And I don't care about pigs, but they are killing them. And chickens are being killed, and everything's being slaughtered. We're seeing that. And we're seeing the scorchers, too, that may be killing the animals, but we're also seeing the government say, we want to kill off the animals and we want you to eat bugs. Did you see the video by the Australian actress, Nicole Kidman? She said, let's eat bugs, and then she proceeds to eat bugs. It's gross. We don't want to eat bugs. You can't convince us of that. So crop failure, idiocy, because crises causes food inflation. Yeah, the governments are causing the inflation. There's no end in sight. Food inflation soars to the highest level in 42 years. How bad will the food shortage get? It's going to get really bad, okay? Food inflation worsens. Grocery stores are becoming frequent sites of violent fights and thefts. We're seeing that everywhere. That's craziness, and that's our Biden's utopia. Dutch farmers form a tractor blockade in massive protest over nitrogen policy. We need nitrogen. We need carbon dioxide. And the governments are saying, no, you don't need that. Well, we need that to feed all the people. Well, the governments are saying, well, we want to depopulate, so you're working against our goals. French farmers dump hundreds of tons of manure on the streets and spray city building with slurry on day of protest. Yes, it's worldwide, people. You should see Sri Lanka. Craziness. And they should be doing that because their financial system is collapsing, their food is collapsing. Poor Sri Lanka. Pray for them. Your sons and daughters will be handed over to another people. You will watch them longingly. all day, but not see them, and there will be nothing that you can do about it. A nation unknown to you will eat the fruit of your land and labor. Yes, you will be continually oppressed and crushed till you go crazy. There's that shagah word. That's another variation of it. It's basically the same word, though. From what your eyes have to see, Adonai will strike you down in the knees and legs with painful, incurable boils. They will spread from the sole of your foot to the crown of your head. There you go. And we're seeing illnesses, and it must be climate change. No, it's not. It's caused by the jabs. And then the unraveling of Germany's green agenda. We're seeing craziness, mashugana. And that's what Germany and the Netherlands are doing right now. It's all being caused by Klaus Schwab. You know that. So more madness. I want to show you this. This is interesting. This is a young Jewish lady that's a believer now, and so she was a light worker. Okay, what's that? Well, she's saying she's not a star seed. She's a light worker. And yeah, they talk to aliens. They talk to demons. Okay, so she's telling you that that's what's going on when these people are saying star seed is a soul that comes from another planet, galaxy, dimension, or even reality. A light worker is a soul that originated from above the 3D dimension and an interdimensional or energies of our planet. Okay, there you go. So they're talking to demons. Craziness. Okay, now we're going to cover this. Meshugana is Yiddish, but it's a crazy word. And so you just saw the two different versions of it. You saw Shagah and you saw Shagayon. And so two different versions, but in the same section. So Deuteronomy 28:28 and Deuteronomy 28:32, 34 actually. So Shagah is be mad, rage, howl, maddened, driven to despair, madmen, show madness, all sorts of these horrible things, okay? And then on the other side, Shagaon, madness, figurative, a wild and helpless panic, a person who is silly or crazy or a madman, and so that's Meshugana. So you wonder why the Yiddish took from Shug. Yeah, well, Shug is the word, and that's what we're seeing right now. That is a form of judgment. I'm saying that whether we're doing it or God's sending it, God is involved in it, and we are under judgment because of the times that we're in and the craziness that we've started. So global depopulation is their stated goal, and I believe that there's food poisoning going on right now. This life insurance CEO reveals deaths are up 40% among working people. Depopulation, as I mentioned, Taiwan, UK, Germany, other places dropping so fast. So global elite have wanted to bring population growth down for a long time. The Club of Rome founder from many years ago in 1969 said biological germ virus, mass sterilization, elimination of all needless human beings, needless eaters, unwanted eaters. So we're flirting with this leftist disaster, and it's a crazy disaster. It's time to stop compromising because the psychopaths are on the loose, and they lack empathy. They now rule over our culture because they cannot be confronted without great social risk. It's a game, you see, a game played by psychopaths, and the goal of the game is to see if they can make all the people around them act just like them. Crazy people want you to act crazy. Can you be turned into the dark side? The purpose of this game, and they reveal in the idea that deep down everyone else is just as crazy and evil as they are. So that's the alt market publishing this on July 7th. And so what are the globalist goals? They want to depopulate. They really want to drink the cup of God's wrath, which causes that shug, that craziness. And they want to bring in, various goals, so the agenda, whatever, 2030, to bring in depopulation, economic collapse, hyperinflation, food shortage. They want to get rid of 13 out of 14 people on the planet today. That's their goal. And isn't it interesting that the Georgia Guidestones just fell? So then, basically, when you're saying, well, we're not do the wrath of God. Well, that's from 1 Thessalonians 5:9. Well, actually, some are, and the people that take the mark of the beast are. So in the middle of this section right here, you see another angel, a third one, followed them and said in a loud voice, if anyone worships the beast and its image and receives the mark on his forehead or on his hand, he will drink the wine of God's fury, poured out, undiluted into the cup. Okay, so that's that cup of wrath. Poterion, of his rage, and that's orge. So that is exactly what 1 Thessalonians 5:9 is saying, orge, wrath. He will be tormented by fire and sulfur before the holy angels and before the Lamb, and the smoke of their tormenting goes up forever and ever. He will have no rest day or night, those who worship the beast and its image, and those who receive the mark of its name. Revelation 14:9 through 11. And keep in mind that the 7 bowls come right after that, and that's fiale, and that would be the bowls are different than the cup of wrath. They are poured out. We drink the cup, the bowls are poured out, okay? Because we're drinking the cup. And don't drink the cup. Don't take the mark either. So the cup's going to be poured out at some point in time, and it's depopulation, and it's just madness. That's what it is. And that's what's happening right now. That's a sign of judgment. So if you want verses that match up with this, the cup of wrath, go to Psalm 75:8 and look for the cup, Poterion, again, of wine, foaming richly spiced, and God will have you drink it down to the dregs, and the dregs cause craziness. And then Isaiah 51:17, drank the cup of his fury, you have drained to the dregs the goblet of drunkenness. And that's what's happening to the world right now. Drunkenness, craziness, depopulation. For here's what Adonai, the God of Israel, says to me: take the cup of wine of fury from my hand, and make all the nations where I am sending you drink it. They will drink, stagger to and fro, and behave like crazy people because of the sword that I will send upon them. You see the connection there again? Okay, and you are to say to them, here is what Adonai Tezvaot, the God of Israel, says: drink until you are so drunk that you throw up, fall down, and never get up again because of the sword I am sending among you. If they refuse to take the cup from your hand and drink it, then say to them, here's what Adonai Tezvaot says: you must drink. For look, I am bringing disaster on the city that bears my own name. Do you expect to go unpunished? Yes, I will summon the sword for all the inhabitants of the earth. So that's Jeremiah 25:27 through 37. I'm sorry, I marked that down wrong. But anyway, the point is, after that comes the 7 bowls. Okay, what are we waiting for, people? We're in judgment right now. We're experiencing depopulation. We're experiencing signs of the 4th seal. I can't completely call it yet, but we are hoping to keep our garments clean. That means don't take the mark of the beast. Don't worship the beast. Don't take the mark of the beast. Okay, keep your garments clean. Keep it up, because we're going to hit a wedding at some point in time. Get through to that. So we're Beth Hassett. Thank you for your time. Be aware of what's going on in the world today. Be aware of the madness and stay away from it. Bye-bye.